Okay, so let's talk about this little icon on your phone. You know the one, the App Store. It feels like it's just always been there, right? But the real story of how we got to that simple one tap download is this wild ride full of forgotten pioneers, huge legal fights, and an absolute gold rush in technology. Let's get into it. But first, I want you to really think about this for a second. Before you could just download an app in, 10 seconds, how did we get new software? It wasn't just a tap. No. It was basically a whole afternoon project that usually involved a trip to a store to buy a big physical box. That's right, we were living in the age of physical media. You'd come home with a stack of floppy disks or maybe a shiny new CD-ROM, and then the whole ritual would begin. You'd feed the disks into your computer, one by one, clicking next through these endless installation windows, all while kind of praying that the very last disk wasn't scratched. It was an exercise in patience, for sure. So, what changed? Well, the App Store showed up. But to really get why it was such a big deal, we have to be on the same page about what an App Store actually is. Because trust me, it is so much more than just a digital storefront. Okay, so at its core, yeah, it's a digital distribution platform. But the two words here that literally change everything are secure and uniform. The whole idea is it's a curated, safe space where you can pretty much trust what you're downloading. And the process, the way you find and install stuff, is the exact same whether you're getting a huge game or a simple weather app. That consistency, that's the secret sauce. And this is that revolutionary simplicity in action. Today, you just browse around, maybe check some reviews from other people, you tap one single button, and boom, the app just appears on your screen. All that friction is just gone. Now, compare that to swapping out a stack of floppy disks, and you can see why this was a complete game changer. But this idea of a central hub for all your software, it didn't just pop out of thin air. It actually has a much older, more technical ancestor called a package manager, which is super common in systems like Linux. Think of a package manager as a tool for developers, a really technical way to install and manage all the bits and pieces of a system. The absolute genius of the App Store was taking that powerful, nerdy concept and making it incredibly simple, user-friendly, and, well, commercial. It completely shifted the focus from managing system files to creating this friendly, monetizable marketplace for everyone. And that evolution? It started way earlier than you probably think. I mean, long before the very first smartphone, the DNA of the App Store was already starting to form. All the pieces of the puzzle were just scattered across decades, waiting for someone to put them together. Just look at how far back this goes. We're talking 1983. Micronet 800 was letting people download software over their phone lines. Then, in 92, we get something called the Electronic App Wrapper, which was the first to introduce a secure commercial catalog. Jump forward to 1999, and Japan's iMode creates the first mobile app store, complete with a revenue-sharing model for developers. And finally, in 2002, Click and Run gives us that amazing one-click install that we all know and love. Each one of these was a critical piece of the puzzle. So all these concepts were out there, kind of floating around for decades. But they were waiting for the perfect storm, right? They needed that one piece of hardware that would bring it all together and put it into the hands of millions and millions of people. And that moment, it came in this one single year, 2008. This is the year that changed absolutely everything for software. In July of 2008, Apple launched the App Store. Now, they didn't invent the idea, as we've seen, but what they did was perfect the execution. It was simple, it was centralized, and it was built right into the iPhone, which was already becoming massively popular. And here's the critical part. It created a billion-dollar ecosystem for developers overnight. This was the moment the whole concept exploded into the mainstream. And then the floodgates just opened. It was a genuine gold rush. Just a few months after Apple's launch, Google was there with the Android market. Then, within a year, look at this list. BlackBerry, Nokia, Microsoft, every single major player in the mobile space was scrambling to build their own version. The App Store race was officially on. But with this sudden explosion in popularity, a whole new fight began. Apple had made the term App Store famous, but the big question was, could they actually own it? And this led to a pretty major legal showdown. So in 2011, Apple sued Amazon. Amazon had just launched the Amazon App Store for Android devices. Apple's argument was pretty simple. Hey, we have a trademark on that name. It's ours. But Amazon's defense was just as simple. They argued the term had become generic, that it wasn't a brand name anymore, but just the name for a type of service, like supermarket or gas station. And well, the courts sided with Amazon. In 2013, a judge basically ruled against Apple's claims, saying that Apple couldn't prove Amazon was trying to trick people into thinking its service was actually Apple's. The name itself had just become way too common. Apple eventually dropped the case entirely, and that right there, that's the reason why we see the term App Store used so freely by everyone today. It doesn't belong to one company, it belongs to all of us now. And that freedom, that idea becoming public domain, really helped the whole concept expand way beyond just our phones. The model was so successful, so intuitive, that it started taking over all our other devices too. Seriously, think about it. How do you get software on your Mac or your Windows PC today? Through an app store. Your web browser, like Chrome, it has an app store for extensions. This curated one-click installation model is now just the default way we get software on pretty much every platform imaginable. So we've gone from these clunky, frustrating floppy disks to the seamless digital world that's all powered by this one amazing model. It gives us incredible convenience and security, which is great, but it does leave us with one last, really crucial question to think about. What are the trade-offs here? What does it really mean when so much of our digital lives are curated and controlled inside these walled gardens run by just a handful of giant companies? It's definitely something to think about the next time you cap to download.